Okay, so I showed you guys the triangle pocket, a regular pocket, how to make flip pages. Now let me show you a gatefold page. Gatefold is when it's going to open up like that. So I want to take a piece of cardstock that is the same size as this cardstock. No, I don't. I want to go, so this is, what did we say? See, I will measure this over and over. This is 4 3/4. Why did I make it that? So I need to make it 5 3/4 going this way. And how big do I want my gatefold? I'm going to put it in the center. So actually this is a perfect size, because I want a little bit of the paper to show here, a little bit of the paper to show here, and I want it to open up like this. We're going to do this like a simple. So my width is 4 3/4, so I need to make it 5 3/4 because I need my hinge flaps to attach it. So 5 3/4. And this is a good length, which it measures 5. So it's giving me an inch bigger, which is going to give me a 1/2 inch border to see through. So now I'm going to score this on each side at a 1/2 inch, like we always do. I'll go right there, 1/2 inch. I flip it just because it's easier. You want to know what the 1/2 inch is over there, that's fine, but that's the way I do it. Okay, so we're going to have our hinges, and we know it's going to attach. I want to get these down really nice, burnish them with your bone folder so your paper's all stretched out. So we know it's going to sit on there like that, and I want to cut this right evenly down the middle. So I take my ruler here, and this is the Tim Holtz ruler. It has the 0 in the middle, so you can line things up to find the middle of something. So what I want to do is, that looks like it's right in the middle because, no wait, hold on. Well, first of all, if I know that this is 4 3/4, you can do the math and divide that, but I'm not that smart. Yep, this is where the middle is. And I know this is the middle because I have my 8 and my 4 right there, and I'm 1/4 of an inch over on that one and 1/4 of an inch over from that. That's not the middle. That's the middle. I moved it. Okay. I told you I'm not a good measurer, but this is how I do it because I'm crazy. That is the middle right there. Trust me. So I want to take a little, I'm just going to cut it with my X-Acto knife right on that middle and line it up in my paper trimmer to cut it down the middle. There. Yep, we got them both the same. Alright, so now we have our hinges on each side, and we're going to put our score tape down each side of our hinge. We're going to miter our little corners just a little bit. And then we glue it down. I want this to sit in the middle of my paper. So that is the middle because I have a half an inch, or yeah, half an inch on each side. So there's our one opening. And let's do the next one. That's why I like working on this gridded sheet, because I know when I'm lining up my stuff, I'm lining it up on the edges on these lines, and I know that it's even because I have 2 square marks on each side. So I line it in that one and that one, and I know there was a square. Okay, so that is on there. So now we have a gatefold. So now you know how to do that. Now we need to attach our magnets on here. So I'm going to need one magnet here, one magnet here, and hopefully I'll get by with just putting one on the back. But sometimes you don't if it's bigger. But this is so little that I think we'll be okay. So yeah, then you can open this up. You could put pictures here or just journal and put your photo there. Whatever. Alright, let me get 2 magnets. We'll do one at a time. These things are so hard to get off. I don't have any thumbnails because that's how I do it. Alright. Clean off the nozzle of my glue because I let it sit here so it bubbled out. Alright, so get the glue down, get it on there, and I want to put it right in the middle, and remember, move it over because you want to be able to have your paper going down to glue it, otherwise it's not going to glue down and you have a bump and it won't lay nicely. That can actually go in the middle more, like that. And I used my Scotch tape. My glue is very wet, so I'm going to put another piece. Get my next magnet. Glue it down. That looks like it's in the middle. I just eyeball it. I don't have to measure. It's just a magnet, guys. Put my tape down. Close it up. Flip it over. That's the back. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to do this with one magnet, but I doubt it. We'll see. Take a magnet off. Nope. Not gonna. If I could get it close to the edge, I can. So you're gonna lay both of your magnets down. Just like that. And glue them. See how easy it is for those magnets? Yeah, it took me a while to learn that trick. And tape them up so we can move on and they'll dry while I'm doing my next page. Alright, so there we have it, a cute little gatefold page, and we'll put that aside and go on to our next pages. Here's where you got to plan ahead on things. Like before you put your cardstock in your pattern paper, you kind of need to know, how am I going to do this as an opening? Do I want ribbon to tie it? Because if you do, then you need to glue your pieces of ribbon down before you decorate with your pattern paper. Again, on the spine, if you wanted to punch a hole which I usually never do because I never remember, so I finagle a way to attach it under a flower or something. But if you want to punch a hole to hang a charm or chain, you need to do that before you glue all that stuff down. All right, so there's another page completed. And then I put it aside and work on the next page. How do I want to do this one? This is exactly how I create. I just create them as I go. I grab another page and say, okay, how do I want to do this one? Let's do this one as, I'll do another flip out, but let's do alternating. So I'm going to do 4.5. I want my flap to be 4.5. So I'm going to have to do it at 5 inches going this way, and I'm going to want it to be, let's see, 4.5 by 5.5 will do. 4.5 by 5.5. I'm just using scrap cardstock over here. It's not the same color, but it's okay. It'll give it some interest. It's still in the pink family. So 4.5 by 5.5. And then I'm going to make another one. I'm using these scraps up. 4.5 by 5.5. I can't use this, guys, because I scored it and it's going to... We're just going to have to pull out of here. Oh. Alright. 4.5. 5.5. Dang it. I can't use those scraps. I gotta get a whole sheet of paper. Let's try it again. That is the wrong color. Ugh. Why is that? That's the one I want. Sorry. Four and a half. 5.5. And then so that's 4.5. Even that up. I'm going to do 2 of them at 4.5 by 5.5. I'm going to score it because here's my page. I want one to open this way and I want one to open this way, but I'm going to overlap them. Do you see what I'm saying? So on my 5.5, I want to score it at 1/2 inch on both of them. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Add the score tape. To both of them. Make sure your tape's down good. Miter the corners. So once you know how to attach your hinges, any size that you want to make your photo mat, your flip outs and everything, just know to do on the side that your hinge has to be, you have to make it 1/2 inch bigger to score on that 1/2 inch. So I'll go ahead ahead and put this one on top, and that one will open that way. And you also want to know, you want some pages to open this way and some to open this way, because if it's laying in your book, and then some open that way. You get what I'm saying? But this one I'm going to do oh, I got that too big. What did I do? So we're going to take off a 1/2 inch of this, or 1/4 inch. Never fear. You just stick it in your paper trimmer. Yeah, I'm actually going to take off a 1/4 inch. There. Now you can still see through. So I have to do that on this one. Okay, so evidently I wasn't recording. And I already got this page like halfway done. I don't even know if that gatefold page went on there. Alright, so this page I'm going to create these 2 fold outs, and I already cut my 2 pieces. I want this to be, I cut this at 5 1/4 by 4 1/2. So my picture will be 5 by 4 1/2. I already cut that one. I mitered the 1/2 inch, or scored at the 1/2 inch. I cut this one, scored at the 1/2 inch. And I want to stagger them. So that one's going to open like that, and when it closes, I'll put this one down here, you'll see. So I'm staggering this on this side, down lower. And I'm just leaving a 1/4 inch at the bottom to show through. It just gives your album some interest. Alright, so that's how that is. Boom, boom. And then you'll have your paper in here, and see how they're staggered? It's cool. Now I need to place my magnets. So decide, well, I guess it doesn't matter, but so open it up, same thing, place it right in the middle. I should use my glue gun while I'm on this video, because get it right in the middle. Where's my towel? Tape it. Go to this side. There's enough glue on my bottle there. Close it up. Actually, I like it to go that way. Flip it over. That magnet goes there. That magnet goes there. Ta-da! And there's another page. Done. So I'll put that aside. And let me see if the other page that I just did recorded. Be back. Alright guys, for this page I'm going to show you how to do a little miniature waterfall. A waterfall tutorial. So I scored everything and cut everything ahead of time, so I didn't make any mistakes because I really had to concentrate. But I'll go over all the measurements with you. The tape's already on everything. So here's another piece of my paper. I only have 1 or 2 more to make. And we know this is 4 3/4 by 6. So you want to determine, now for this you need to take your decorative paper and choose it and lay it down. So I'll go ahead and do that now because your waterfall are going to go on top of it and you won't be able to get it down later. So I already cut this at, since my page is 4 3/4 by 6, I want to leave that 1/4 of an inch border around, so I cut this at 4 1/2 by 5 3/4. And I'll tape that down. My desk is getting messy here. Get that taped down, and then I'll so I chose my pattern paper that's going to go on here, leaving my 1/4 of an inch border all the way around. And of course it's not as neat as I like it to be, but I'm on video, so I have a little bit, I'm kind of crooked. I probably cut it crooked too. Alright, so now you have to determine how big you want each photo mat to be. For majority, you can make it any size you want, being as though my paper is that size. I want to leave, we'll get tired, I want to leave space around like a 1/2 inch on each side so I can see my pretty paper along the top and along the bottom. So what I came up with is each square is going to be 3 3/4. Didn't I write it on there? There, I wrote it on the back. 3 3/4 by 4. So 3 3/4 by 4. But I have to, on the 4-inch side, I'm going to score it at a 1/2 inch. So then it really leaves me 3 1/2. So basically, my picture area is going to measure 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. And it lays on there very nicely, like that, to be able to keep flipping up. So that's why we have it at 3 3/4 by 4. Score it on the 4 length. So you score it at a 1/2 inch like we've been doing on all of them, and put your score tape. So I did that already to all my pieces. And this is small, so I'm only going to be able to get 3. So your last piece, you're not going to do any scoring on your very last one because that one's just going to glue down flat, and I'll show you. So I'll start gluing these down. My paper's already down. So I know I want to leave a border around the top. I want to get this nice and straight, and you really have to get it straight because your waterfall won't line up right. So I eyeball it to get the first one, but I'm going against the lines of my grid here. So I know that this will go on straight, but I know, so I have equal distance on each side, and I'm going to get this as best as I can being on video. So there's my first one. It's looking pretty straight. And I put my first page down. So see where I didn't miter these because I want to be able to line them up, and I'm going to put paper in between to cover them up. So there's your first one. Then you have to line up the second one. And you want to very carefully get it corner to corner, butt it right up against that bottom as best and as straight as you can, because when you close it you want it to be, this one's a little bit off, but it's very hard to do this on camera. So see, if you don't get it perfect, you're not going to line up evenly. It's pretty good. This'll work. But if I was off camera, I'd really do it more precise. So then now you have your two pages, and then we'll put this last one on. Or not the last, the last flap. And with this one, I'm going to pull it closer to me just so I can get it good. And you really want to wedge it up into your seam. Open it. See, I screwed it up. I can't do this on camera. That's okay. Pattern paper is going to cover that little buckle. But see, it came out crooked because I can't get my head in there to do it really neat. But that's okay. I'm just teaching you how. All right, so then your last page, see how you get the nice, you can kind of see better. You get each page is spaced evenly apart. So now we'll put our last piece down, and you're not going to have a flap because you already have it there, and this one's going to lay flat, and you're not going to be able to flip this up, but it's going to give you that bottom piece so it still looks like it's part of the waterfall. So again, oops, I forgot a piece of tape. Again, line this up as carefully as you can. I can't do this on camera. It's very hard with the camera in the way to get it straight, but you're going to get the general idea. And when you're not on camera, you can really work it and get it nice, but not too bad for doing it. So there's your basic waterfall. See how that one lays flat? But yet it still covers. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pictures right there on that one little page in this little mini book. But now I don't do magnets on this because they're all staggered. So I'll show you quickly. If you wanted to do ribbon, sometimes I do ribbon, I would have put the ribbon underneath that paper before I glued it down so it would come over, and I put a magnet down here. But I'm going to do this pattern paper and show you how to make the magnetic flappy hinge that I do. So with my scraps, I know that's long enough, but no it's not, because I need this to go around the back. So I want to cut this. Here's a piece of scrap paper, and that measures 1 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to make this 2 inches. 2 inches by 6.5. And I want it 6.5 because I need to score it at 1/2 inch so I can attach it to the back. Like this. So see, I'm just putting it over the back like that. And I could line it up and it looks really good. So yeah, I'll put my score tape. Now this time you want to put the score tape inside because it's attaching that way. Got it? All right. We'll get that up, line it up in the middle. Press down, and there you go. There's a little flap. Now I'm going to want to put my magnet, so that's going to stay down. You can either keep this square or you can make it go into a point, which you would just cut, you know, to make it like an arrow. I'm leaving this one square for this video. So I put my glue on my magnet, as always. Turn it over on the inside and get it way up there because you're going to be layering your paper. So leave plenty of room at the end. Tape it down. Okay. So now when that closes, it'll have a magnet. Turn it over. Get another magnet. Plop it down. It goes where it needs to go. My battery's dying. Okay, so I will glue this down. For right now, I'm just going to tape it because my battery's about to die. So there you have now a magnet to hold your waterfall down, and then you decorate it, of course, when you're all done, with real pretty paper and embellish it the way you want. So that's that. That's a waterfall page. All right, I'll be back with another page.